Welcome to Gulfstream Park. It is the January 23rd, 2015. Christina Basanakis, joined by our consummate entertainer, Ron Nicoletti. And Ron, lovely day, nice breeze.
We did it again. Beautiful weather
We've
again.
been very fortunate with the weather, but also think about this weekend, what we've got going on. We just have so much happening.
You know, we got breezy conditions today, but as I walked in, the breeze is actually going across the track. It's coming out of the east to west. I don't know if it'll affect how the races will play out today with this strong wind, but we'll let you know as the day progresses. But just a beautiful day in South Florida. We got a Rainbow Six today in race number 5. Over just about $97,000 in the carryover, so someone can hit that today. We had a couple of horses. We had no one live yesterday, I believe, in the final race. So we'll see how it goes today. And great bet, 20-cent wager. And don't forget, on Saturdays and Sundays, we got guaranteed pools in the late pick 4 of $100,000, and in the late pick 5, both Saturday and Sunday during the month of January, $50,000 in the pick 5. And as I mentioned, in the pick 4, fast main track, firm turf course. As you mentioned, what a weekend coming up. But today, a pretty nice card, too.
Yeah, we really do. Tomorrow, we're going to have the Hutchison. We have the Lambholm South, Holy Bull, the Forward Gal. There's so many stakes, I can't even begin to tell you.
And you know what the best part, Christina? Last 5 races of the day are all stakes. So
yes.
The pick 5 is an all-stakes pick 5. And, of course, the Rainbow Six, you got 1 race, which is a really good race, then 5 consecutive stakes in the Rainbow Six.
I love that.
It's going to be a great day to play those exotic wagers.
But we have some interesting races today, Ron, and we will kick off in the first race. And we do have a 12-5 claiming event. It is 6 furlongs on the main track. My top pick, I went with number 2. I think this is very interesting. I went with a horse that you didn't even use among your top 3 selections, Fleet Talk and Miss, trained by Sid Attard. And she returned, she came back off of she has previously come back off of layoff to win, which is one reason that I used her, if you saw that back in August. And also she's dropping to a career low level. So I think that's going to help her. I also think perfect distance, she's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I just saw that red flag waving, and I did try and beat her, picking a big drop. She was $40,000 optional claimers up at Woodbine, now for $12,500. Non-winners of 3 in life. So on paper, she certainly looks like the one to beat. But I did go with the number 5, My Cousin Faye. This one moved to the Antonio Sano Bonvita claim, steps up to the next level today after responding to a drop in competition with a commanding 12-length victory against $12,500 2 lifetime claimers. The barn is really good with new claims, about 26%, and they got leading jockey Javier Castellano in the saddle. So I know you had the 5 on your ticket. We both used the 1 horse in there, Flashy Brass. I used the 3, GP Ricky. I thought they were trying to tell us something. Ricky is the trainer, Gulfstream Park, GP. Thought maybe it was an omen that we put this horse on the ticket. But you're right. If you're going to bet this race in the early daily double, got to have your top pick on the ticket.
I do, and I have a couple of works for my filly, number 2, Fleet Talk and Miss. So I thought I would take a go in that direction. On to the second race on the card, and it is a 20,000 maiden claiming event at 5 furlongs on the turf course. And Ron, we do have this kicks off the early pick 4. We do have a scratch of the also eligible number 10, Moonlight Time. My top pick, I went with the 2. Here we're in agreement. Number 2, Fabled Star from the Ralph Nix barn. And Ron, last time 3rd. She did show some speed. She pressed the early pace. That was in the slop December 26 here at Gulfstream. And she just got a little leg weary late. And hopefully she won't be pressed so hard early in the early going here.
Yeah, she finished 3rd in that race, was put up to 2nd via Stewart's decision. It's hard not for me to have number 6. It's Macaroni on the ticket. It seems like a no-brainer to me. This one is making her first start since encountering double trouble in a race. She was steady at the 3/8 pole. She lacked room at the quarter pole, finishing 3rd, beating the length as the favorite. That was a $30,000 maiden test, going 5 furlongs. It was on a good turf. It was up at the Meadowlands. So It's Macaroni should be right in the pot of this thing and get it done.
I also used number 9, Lloyd Harbour, really a mare for the exotics, and also I saw that you used Lochin, and that's from the Terry Pompey. I had a question mark with that one, number 5, and maybe I think she'll be keeping it. She'll be settling in a stalking position. That might be good actually for that particular race because it seems that there is some speed in there.
Yeah, there's some speed in there, and Terry Pompey barn starting to light up and get going here. So I just thought I'd throw that one on the ticket in there. But it sure looks like you got to beat the 2 or the 6 in the second race, and as Christina mentioned, that kicks off the early pick 4.
On to the third race on the card, and it is a 6250 claiming event. It is 6 furlongs on the main track, and my top pick, I went with so Ron, we have in race 3. I went with number 8, and that is Donegal Hall, and Edgar Zayas gets aboard. Second last time, just beaten a desperate neck, got to the front and just got nipped late. I know that you went in another direction. You went with number 7, a horse that I used, Sweet Rocket Man. That last race, Ron, let's take a look at that last race because there's some significant things in there.
Yeah, this horse, as you see here, is going to get in trouble. But before this happens, you'll see he just gets squeezed between horses. There he is. He had to, pull out of there and just, he never really got to go. He's the 10 horse in there. Now you've seen he's got to switch to the outside. It was just everybody landed up in the same spot. Now you see he regathers himself and comes running in here. The other thing that I wanted to mention in that race before we showed you just where the trouble call was, very wide, turning for home, got to the rail somehow, then got in that trouble. So I just went off that performance. I used the number 7, Sweet Rockin' Man. I used the 5, Leighton Fire in second, and number 4, Crazy Clown Time. Dropping into a competitive spot, horse has been chasing the pace and fading, so I just thought this horse was in a logical spot to run. You got the 7 on your ticket, you got the 5. The only difference we have is our third picks in there, so we'll see. Actually, your top pick I don't have on the ticket. Now tell me about it.
About Donegal Hall?
Yeah, you didn't say anything about it, did you?
Yeah, I did. I actually did. Well, he has a win over the track. I like that. Also, the distance has served him really well. He's coming off of, I thought that last effort pretty good, and he was claimed in his latest start. And for a barn that actually does pretty well with their first-time claim, so I thought I would go in that direction. Last 2 races at this level, pretty good. Why not?
Yeah, I guess I was waiting to do the video and didn't pay attention to what you were saying. So
you were anticipating. You were anticipating the video. On to the 4th race on the card. It is a 12-5 maiden claiming event. It is a mile on the main track. Ron, number 3. This one's named after you. He's a miracle.
He's a miracle. Thank you very much. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we're in total agreement. This race here, a little tough to handicap, and always when we say that, we come up with the exact 3 winners. He's a miracle, stretching out at the following. A second place finish against this familiar competition, going a mile. That's on January 1st. Then gets caught 5 wide and finishes 6th. That's going 3/4 of a mile last time out. I'm going to bank on that other performance there when the second put it on top with Grease Paint and Mr. Kitten. We're in total agreement in this race. If you have some extra money, get it all button in the early pick 4 there.
Yeah, we will take a short break and we'll come back and have a look at the race that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6. There's a carryover over $96,000.
Gulfstream Park is one of Florida's top entertainment destinations, mixing restaurants, clubs, a casino, and international boutique shops with world-class racing. In a lavish, sun-drenched setting with the feel of a Mediterranean village, Gulfstream is a leading year-round entertainment and tourist destination and the home of luxury residences in 2014. The Stronach family, owners of Gulfstream Park, is committed to the sport of thoroughbred racing and the grace, spirit, and generosity of the horse.
The Rainbow 6 is back and it's better than ever. Now with a 20-cent base wager, it will expand the market for the popular bet. And in addition to doubling the base wager, the percentage return for the winners on the day the jackpot isn't hit increases to 70%, with 30% going to the carryover pool for the next program. Gulfstream Park, first race post, 12:30 p.m. each and every racing day.
Welcome back to Gulfstream Park. We're going to have a look at today's 5th race that kicks off the 20-cent Rainbow 6. We do have a carryover, almost 97,000.
Just about 97,000, and that is a carryover, so that's all to be gotten. But if you have that one unique ticket with all 6 wagers, nobody else has it, you get the whole jackpot. But as we mentioned time and again, 6 out of 6, even if you have numerous winners at 6 out of 6, boy, does it pay nicely. And the best part, once again, 20-cent wager.
It isn't a pretty exciting race. race, too, and I'm very interested. I went in a different direction. It looks like, Ron, a couple of horses we each used and the other one did not. I went with number 7, and that's Dave Hoyt from the Dale Romans barn. This is a 3-year-old colt by Langfuhr. Last time, I thought a productive first outing, and then was 4th that day, beaten just over 4 lengths. Now, a full sibling to Waliana. Waliana, a graded stakes winner on the turf. So I respect the connections. Dale Romans, he's been his barn has been on fire here thus far at Gulfstream. You really can't count him out. But I understand, Ron, you went in a different direction. You went with number 5, and that is How You. Looking at Lucky, I'm a big fan of the sire.
Yeah, I mean, he's stretching out to a mile and 16th after rallying late to finish a promising 3rd in his 7.5 furlong career debut. The trainer is Ignacio Correa, and he has Joe Bravo in the saddle. I just thought that was a pretty nice performance for its debut, and I'm going to hang my hat on there. But there's another horse in here we have some interest in that we both did not use, and that is the horse that we saw.
In fact, of not using him, he was going to be one of my alternate horses, Saham, number 2. That's trained by Brendan Walsh. We're going to go back and we'll have a look at his debut. That was on November 22nd at Churchill Downs. Ron, 2 things I wanted to highlight in here. First of all, I thought it was a pretty useful, pretty nice finish. The horse he's finishing behind is a horse named Gorgeous Bird from the Ian Wilkes barn. I've spoken to Ian about this particular horse. He's running, in fact, here at Gulfstream, excuse me, tomorrow. And I think his quality is the real deal. So Saham ran a really good race behind him.
Yeah, ran a very good race, and you see he had a race here at Gulfstream Park in his last start, and there were some fallen horses in that race, so put a line through that, and you go to this race that I hadn't seen this race from Churchill Down. Now that I see it, I'm going to be adding this horse to my Rainbow Six ticket, because off to the company line that he's keeping, and as you mentioned last time, I'm going to put a line through that race. He really didn't get a chance to show his stuff, and when we had that fallen horse in there.
It said steadied, and it was an understatement for him. That was steadied. I went back and watched the video. It was an understatement, so absolutely correct. I did use number 1 as well. I see you did too. Dreaming of Gold. There's a colt by Embridled Song. $220,000 was the purchase price on this one. And Ron, 14% is first-time starters. That's Unbridled Song, and he's at this colt is a half to Believe in Charlie. Believe in Charlie. She's a stakes winner on the turf. She also won first time out. So this is a horse that I had to use.
The other horse I used in there was the 4 Call Me Crazy, which Christina does each and every day. This one making his first start since finishing 2nd in 3 consecutive maiden special weight races. Kathy Ritvo, Luis Saez hoping this horse can get cure that current case of seconitis today. So Call Me Crazy on the ticket.
So I think we have to use a few horses for
Rainbow
Six.
I think you got to go deep. We got to use that one we just showed you, the video of Saham, especially if the company line that it was keeping, and the fact that it didn't get a chance to really show its stuff last time out.
We move on to the 6th race on today's card, which kicks off the pick 5, and we do have the scratches of the also eligibles 9 and 10. And my top selection, I went with number 8. It looks like we're in agreement. Mama's Favorite, Kathy Mungin's the trainer. I know this filly. I actually saw her over the summer at Monmouth Park. I know Kathy had she had some interest in her, and she thought that she might be a nice type. Last time she was 4th. She didn't have the cleanest of trips lately. She got herself into a little bit of trouble, but I think, Ron, she's going to be the one. She's the one to beat in here.
Yeah, I agree totally. And as you mentioned, she was steadied at the 16 pole. She finished 4th, and just on the other company in here, I think that she's the one to beat. I also use the 5-horse Starship Espresso. This one is stepping up, stretching out after finishing, I thought, an even 5th, beating only 4.5 lengths. Was similar. It's $25,000 maiden event, going 7.5 furlongs. I don't see a big jump up in competition here. And the 6, who we both use, Caribbean Princess.
We move on to the 7th race on today's card that launches the late pick 4. We do have a scratch, a number 1 Russian Spring, and it is a 20,000 claiming event, 7 furlongs on the main track. My top pick, number 2, Rocket Star Red from the Patricia Faro barn, now facing winners. So there's a significant step up here, but an impressive win last time, and not the cleanest of the starts in his latest race. But I think he was the one that I was gonna go with.
I really like the number 7 in here, Mr. 954. This one is dropping to the $20,000 level after showing improved tactical speed, finishing 4th. That was against $25,000 optional claimers. Guess guess what? Going a 2-turn mile on the turf, turn back to 7 furlongs on the main track, my favorite move. So I put number 7, 9, Mr. 954 on top. Your horse in second, Rocket Star Red, and then I threw in the 6 there. You did too, Bagration, who is dropping back to a level where he defeated these type of horses. You know, he's the only multiple winner in the field, this horse here. So if you like that angle, 10 starts, 2 wins.
And both of his wins were 6 furlongs or less, which is why I threw him in the mix without putting him necessarily on top. On to the 8th race on the card is 25,000 claiming event, 7.5 furlongs on the turf course, scratch 9 through 11. That was significant.
My top pick.
My top pick as well. So I ended up landing on my second choice, and it looks like we probably had the same thing going on here. But number 5, and that is Quiet Kitten from the Gustavo Delgado barn, and a win over this turf course, a win at this distance. Ron, we're going to take a look at that last race, Quiet Kitten, January 2nd, and that was a pretty good effort for this one.
I thought it was a pretty nice performance for number 5, Quiet Kitten in there. You see her coming out. She is also the 5 that day, and she does pretty well in
just
there.
A couple, and spotted the field just a couple, just a couple of lengths off at the start, and was a little bit further back. And here we go. It's going to be coming up between horses, and I actually thought ran a pretty good race to get up for a win, because as I said, in the early going, spotted the field a few times.
Yeah, broke a little slowly in there. It's hard to find her between horses, but she did spot the field. There was maybe 6 or 7 horses in front of her that afternoon. A nice finish for her. So with the scratch of the number 9, Who's That Chick, certainly looks like number 5, Quiet Kitten's the one to beat. I used the 3, and so did you. That's La Inesperada. This one hoping for a little racing luck after having this steady at the 3/4 pole when finishing a fast closing second in that race. You just saw right there, Quiet Kitten last time out. So this horse had a little bit of trouble, was trying to reel in number 5, Quiet Kitten, so I put it on the ticket. And number 4 is my third horse, What She Likes. Doing with it what she likes.
I like how you said that. That's awesome. On to the 9th race on the card, and we do have a maiden special weight for 4-year-olds and up. It is 1 mile and 3/16 on the turf. We do have a couple scratches. Number 6, number 11, and Ron, my top pick, I went with number 7, and that's Pure of Spirit, Barkley Tag. Very consistent sort of late. Once Barkley stretched her out, she's very consistent. She's been hitting the board, hit her board all 3 starts of this past year, going further than 2 of them going further than 1 mile and 1/16. But I think she's going to be the one to beat based on that number last time. You know, I look at the thoroughgraph numbers. Based on those, she's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, she was a real well-meant second last time. I'm in total agreement with you. I think she's the one to beat here. The horse I used in second was the number 2, Sartorius, I should say. This one was sent south after showing progress. That was in a pair of turf outings up at Tampa, including a 4th place finish going 11 furlongs last time out. Lots of respect for the trainer, Jonathan Shepard. Rafael Hernandez atop this gelded son of Kitten's Joy. So there's lots of things to like in there, and I used the number 1, Wildfire Artist, in third. Another one coming down from Tampa.
I actually used number 3, Whitman's Poetry. I see you didn't use. He really
it's my long shot today, and I thought I would get a better price, and they found it 9-2. I do pick long shots, but 9-2 today.
He's actually a half sibling to Lickety Lemon. Lickety Lemon was a graded stakes winner at 12 furlongs on the turf. So the pedigree's there. Tis Now on the bottom side. The mare's a Trempolino mare. Trempolino won the Arc. Basically, route. That's a route pedigree all day long. First time Lasix. So many things to like. So I think I'm going to use
That's some long shot, 9-2. They found it. I didn't think they would. She did, and so did the line maker. So
on to the 10th and final race on the card, and we do have a 62.50 claiming event. It is 1 mile on the main track. Super high 5 wagering in the final race. Always.
It's been a lot of fun, that bet. Yeah, boy, they hit it every day, and it pays really, really nicely. So.
They have, yeah, they've been putting a lot of money into it, and I find this interesting. I chose number 1. It's Happy to Be Here, Steve Town, and last time was 4th, but that was in the slop. We're not going to have the conditions are fast and firm here today. And Ron, Now, he is 0 for 7 on the dirt. I'm just thinking in terms of the class, it doesn't seem like there's anything that really towers over anything else in here.
No, I went with the number 8, Ludicrous Breed, a good second, going a 2-turn mile at Gulfstream Park West back on November 22nd, stretching out after rallying. You know, that horse was 5 wide last time out on the turn. He finished a late striding third against this same level of competition. That was going 6 furlongs. I think this horse wants to stretch out. Did well with the 2-turn event over at Gulfstream Park West. This, of course, at Gulfstream Park, at the championship meet, the 1-mile races are 1 turn. I got the 3 DNA approved who you have on your ticket, and I threw in the 7, the 5 points expected to show more today, but certainly the 1 in there, Happy to Be More, is one of those horses you sort of got to add to your super high 5 ticket, if not have it as a single in there. I did not use it, trying to be cute as usual.
As usual. So, Ron, big day. We do have that carryover in the Rainbow Six in race 5.
Yeah, and it's almost 97,000 just to tick off that, and they'll be well over $100,000 today. And, you know, tomorrow we will be seeing if they're going to add a carryover to today. We'll find that out at the end of the day. I mean, a jackpot carryover to it, but it's going to be well over $100,000 today. And don't forget, tomorrow, what a day here. 5 stakes in the final pick 5 of the afternoon, which has that $50,000 guarantee, $50,000 guarantee, all stakes races. So lots of action tomorrow.
A couple of races that we're going to be looking at tomorrow are for 3-year-olds, newly turned 3-year-olds. Many of those going off to the Triple Crown races, even the fillies for the classics. And we will send you off with a look back at a really classy filly who won last year's Forward Gal, and that was only for you. Stick around, folks.
Aurelia's Bell is right next to her at the top of the stretch. Their noses apart. Resistivity is third. Only for You shaking away from Aurelia's Bell. Only for You running strong to the wire now. 2 in front. Aurelia's Bell and Resistivity left behind as Only for You comes home a winner in the Forward Gal.